Have you ever looked at old photographs from the 1970s and noticed something surprising? Crowded beaches, baseball stadiums, shopping malls, schools, and city streets were full of people. Yet very few appeared overweight. It wasn't because everyone spent hours in the gym. It wasn't because they counted every calorie or tracked every step on a smartwatch. So what was different? Was it better genetics? Better willpower? Or did the average American simply eat in a completely different way? Today, obesity affects more than 40% of American adults, and excess weight has become closely linked to diabetes, heart disease, fatty liver disease, and many other chronic illnesses. Yet just 50 years ago, obesity existed, but it was far less common. Something changed between then and now. The answer isn't hidden in one magical food or one secret diet. Instead, it lies in dozens of small habits that quietly shaped everyday life. The meals people ate, the snacks they chose, how often they cooked, how much they moved, and even how food was marketed all created a lifestyle that naturally made overeating less likely. So what exactly did Americans eat in the 1970s? And could some of those forgotten habits still help us today? Let's travel back in time. Breakfast in the 1970s looked very different from many modern breakfasts. Families often started the day with eggs, oatmeal, toast, fruit, cereal with milk, or homemade pancakes prepared from scratch. Breakfast wasn't usually a giant sugary coffee loaded with flavored syrups and whipped cream. It also wasn't a drive-through sandwich eaten while rushing to work. Many cereals certainly contained sugar, but portions were smaller, and children weren't surrounded by hundreds of brightly colored ultra-processed breakfast options competing for attention. Whole milk was common, and families usually sat together before starting their day. Lunch was equally simple. Children often carried homemade lunches packed by parents. Peanut butter sandwiches, turkey sandwiches, apples, bananas, homemade cookies, carrot sticks, or leftovers from dinner were common. Adults frequently packed meals from home instead of ordering restaurant food every day. Dinner was the heart of family life. Most meals were cooked in the kitchen using basic ingredients: roasted chicken, baked potatoes, green beans, meatloaf, beef stew, spaghetti with homemade sauce, grilled fish, rice, seasonal vegetables, soups, and casseroles appeared regularly on dinner tables. Restaurants certainly existed, but eating out was considered an occasional treat rather than an everyday habit. Does that automatically mean the food was healthier? Not entirely. People still ate butter, bacon, ice cream, pies, burgers, and fried chicken. Processed foods already existed, and fast food chains were growing rapidly. But these foods occupied a much smaller place in the average family's weekly routine. They were special meals, not the foundation of everyday eating. Perhaps the biggest difference wasn't what people ate, it was how much they ate. Take a walk through an American restaurant today and compare the portion sizes with those from 50 years ago. Soft drinks have nearly tripled in size. Burgers are stacked with multiple patties. French fries arrive in containers large enough for several people. Desserts are often meant to serve 2 or 3 people, but are eaten by one. In the 1970s, portions were far more modest. Dinner plates themselves were smaller. Soda bottles were smaller. Snack bags were smaller. People simply consumed fewer calories without constantly thinking about dieting. Could it really be that simple? In many cases, yes. Another enormous difference was the absence of ultra-processed foods that now dominate supermarket shelves. Today's grocery stores contain thousands of products designed to be incredibly tasty, convenient, and difficult to stop eating. Chips, cookies, frozen meals, sweetened yogurts, flavored drinks, packaged pastries, protein bars, and endless varieties of snacks are available almost everywhere. While processed foods certainly existed in the 1970s, they hadn't yet taken over the average household to the same extent. Much of the food still began with raw ingredients that required cooking. Preparing meals took time, but it also naturally limited how often people ate. Think about this. If making cookies required mixing flour, eggs, butter, sugar, and baking them in the oven, would you bake cookies every evening? Probably not. But opening a package takes only seconds. Convenience changed eating habits forever. Snacking also looked very different. Today, eating between meals has become almost automatic. People snack while driving, watching television, working, studying, scrolling through social media, or even walking. Many Americans in the 1970s simply ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Snacks existed, but constant grazing throughout the day was much less common. This allowed the body longer periods without continuous calorie intake. Another overlooked difference was beverages. Modern diets include enormous amounts of liquid calories. Sweet coffee drinks, energy drinks, flavored waters, sports drinks, fruit punches, milkshakes, and giant sodas contribute hundreds of calories before food is even considered. In the 1970s, people drank far more water, milk, coffee, and unsweetened tea. Soda was available, but it wasn't consumed in today's massive quantities. Would replacing just one sugary drink each day make a difference? Over months and years, absolutely. Physical activity also played a much larger role in daily life. People walked more because neighborhoods were designed differently. Children played outside until sunset instead of spending entire afternoons in front of screens. Adults mowed lawns, washed cars by hand, climbed stairs, gardened, and completed household chores without robotic machines. Many jobs required standing, lifting, or moving throughout the day. Exercise wasn't always called fitness. It was simply part of life. Technology gradually removed much of that natural movement. Remote controls replaced getting up to change television channels. Elevators replaced stairs. Online shopping replaced walking through stores. Food delivery replaced cooking. Each change seemed tiny. Together, they transformed daily calorie balance. Advertising also changed dramatically. During the 1970s, food companies advertised products, but today's marketing is relentless. Social media, streaming platforms, television, apps, and websites constantly encourage eating. Bright packaging, limited-time offers, oversized meals, and emotional advertising make resisting unhealthy food increasingly difficult. Children especially face nonstop exposure to colorful marketing promoting sugary cereals, candies, snacks, and drinks. The environment itself encourages overeating. There is another important reason many people stayed lean. Meals were slower. Families often gathered around the table without smartphones, laptops, or endless entertainment. People talked while eating. They chewed more slowly and noticed when they felt full. Today, many meals happen inside cars, at office desks, or while watching videos. Distracted eating makes it much easier to consume more food without realizing it. But here's something that surprises many people. The 1970s were far from nutritionally perfect. People smoked far more than today. Nutrition science was still developing. Fruits and vegetables weren't always emphasized enough. Some meals contained large amounts of saturated fat and sodium. So we shouldn't romanticize the decade as a golden age of perfect health. Instead, we should recognize what worked. Home cooking, reasonable portions, fewer sugary drinks, less snacking, more walking, more family meals, less ultra-processed food. None of these habits required expensive meal plans, complicated supplements, or viral diet trends. They simply created a lifestyle where maintaining a healthy weight became easier. So what lessons should we take from the 1970s? We don't need to throw away every modern convenience or pretend that everything in the past was better, but perhaps we've lost something valuable along the way. Maybe health isn't about finding the newest miracle diet every year. Maybe it's about rediscovering simple habits that quietly protected previous generations without them even realizing it. The next time you open your refrigerator or order food online, ask yourself one question. Would this meal have looked familiar on an ordinary American dinner table in 1975? If the answer is yes, you're probably choosing something closer to the way millions of Americans naturally ate before obesity became one of the country's biggest health challenges. Sometimes the future of better health isn't hidden in the next scientific breakthrough. Sometimes it's waiting in the forgotten routines of the past. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.